Welcome to the OAPN Podcast with your host, Adarsh Sakare. No bullshit, no cuts. 100% raw conversations with 0% fucks to give. We don't encourage the consumption of alcohol, but if you want to open up a cold one while you watch this, it's not a bad idea.
So welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to episode number 136. On a personal note with Adarsh Sakare. On 135 we have the amazing, funny, deep, wise Saroj. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, you should. It was pretty fun. And as always, I think it's been a trait of the OAPN podcast of late. We have no idea when we're shooting. We have no idea when we are releasing. But listen, it's still on. It's still going on. I think that's been the vibe. We're just happy it's going on. And here we are on another weekend with another guest. Before I speak a little more about her, let's welcome RJ Anjali.
Yes.
Anjali, welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fantastic because I'm on a podcast right now, my first podcast.
Oh, killer.
Yes, you're taking away my podcast virginity.
Oh my God. No. This is... my mom's going to be okay with that. That's fine.
Oh no, am I not allowed to say that? I mean it of complete innocence.
I get it.
Very pure-heartedly.
Yeah. I get it. I'm glad. I'm privileged.
My podcast debut.
Yeah, your mom.
Should have said that.
Yeah. Same.
No, the first episode.
Yeah. So on our first episode, I think the guest had said the same thing. I think after 135 episodes, someone said it.
Wow.
So it's okay. Anyway, so Anjali is here. A little context. So I'd seen Anjali on Amit's reel. So RJ Amit, I'd seen her on Amit's reel. So I knew she's, she works for the radio. She's a radio jockey. And then very recently she released some really nice fresh content. I saw that. I said, okay, this is a girl that I want to meet. I just liked her approach on camera. I liked her approach with the guest. It was fresh. It was energetic. It seemed like here's this girl very excited about everything that's happening, ready to explore what's happening, ready to talk about what's happening, not scared about sharing her opinion. And I think that's the kind of people we always want to be around. So that was a little context on why we reached out to her, and she was sweet enough to accept our invitation, and here she is. So yeah, welcome Anjali. That's why we are here today.
Thank you, Adarsh. Thank you so much for inviting me. I must say that is one of the sweetest descriptions someone who has just met me has given about me. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for inviting me to this podcast. It came as a surprise to me because I've just started my career. So to get this kind of recognition means a lot. And I'm really excited. I hope I can say something of use to people listening.
No, you are. So I mean, I don't wanna come across as flattering, but I feel like there are certain people when I meet, if there's anything like I'm good at, if I may say so, is seeing people and immediately recognizing that there's something in them that deserves documentation, right? So I just want to be a part of the platform that's able to capture this phase of yours, so that in the longer time set we have this context of who Anjali was and who Anjali is becoming.
Oh my
so
God.
that's the
amazing.
That's the context. But anyway, I love your energy. Thanks for being here.
Sure.
So we'll probably just start with this, right? What gets you excited? Just like, what's the one thing that gets you excited about radio, and why are you on radio today? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to pinpoint one thing.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that excites me about radio.
Okay.
But if I have to say one thing right now, it is what we're doing right now. It is having conversations with people. Yeah. And imagine getting to do that for a living. Imagine getting to do that as your job. Yeah. I've always been a yapper. I love talking. I love having conversations with people. And when I found the opportunity to be able to do that for a living as an RJ, I was like, this is the place that I belong. This is what I want to start off my career with. Yeah. So I think that's what excites me the most at the moment with radio.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's a great platform to start with. I think it just has everything that you need at this point of your life.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So where did you go to college?
I went to Christ. In Bangalore.
I'm shutting this episode down.
Why?
In like 7
I mean,
went to Joseph.
it's not like I have a lot to say about Christ also, but I think it was a nice place. It was a chill place. It was fun. Yeah.
No, Christ is great.
never-ending Joseph Christ rivalry.
Yeah. No, Christ is great. I've said this time and again, and
I got a Joseph to say that.
No, well deserved. Like I really like, I look up to Christ. If there's something I really like about Christ, it is that, say you have a talent or you have an interest, right? By the time you're out of Christ, they do something to you that helps you like own the craft.
That's
like
true.
you come out of it just being better at your art. I don't know what it is, but
They traumatize you. They make you take 85% attendance too
Yeah.
seriously that you want to just get out of there and flourish.
Flourish
as much as possible. Yeah, it's
Maybe
the trauma that's at work.
that's at work.
No.
Maybe
But
that's
yeah, I
what it
think
is.
Christ does give you like a lot of exposure and a lot of
Yeah.
good exposure. It helps you create great networks, meet a lot of people.
It's nice people.
It's
There's
a
diverse
lot of
people as
diverse
well.
people,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
A lot of malus, but apart from that,
that's
there
what-
is also a lot of
That's why
diversity.
Joseph's as well. That used to be with Christ for the longest period, but I'm telling you, like Joseph's is filled with malus right now, and you know it. I don't know what's happening.
And
but anyway.
in my time in Christ, I met a lot of very enthusiastic, very energetic people like me. I mean, their energies and enthusiasm dipped towards the end of the 3 years. That is natural, but yeah, I think it fills you with a kind of drive to do more,
Sure.
to go beyond. So yeah,
Awesome. And school?
school was also in Bangalore. It was in Kumurans. Have you?
Okay. And
What is the school? Yeah.
what were the creative pursuits during school and college? Was there a creative pursuit?
There was always some form of
like
I have always
earliest?
So I've always been a dancer. I've been
you
dancing from since I was 5-6 years. So that's been like a consistent creative pursuit in my life. But apart from that, I think I've always been in one way or another creatively inclined, mainly driven by dance, of course. But I've always loved performing. I've always loved seeing people's reaction. So yeah, dancing has always been in my life. That's one creative pursuit. I've tried out theatre,
Wow.
MCing, RJing now. I think all of that has led to my job right now.
Sure.
So yeah, what else? Apart from that, I think I was enthusiastic, and I was always an enthusiastic, energetic person. But I think fairly lazy also. Like I never really. In school especially, I don't think I ever really tried to push myself too much out of my comfort zone. If something came my way, I did it. But I was not someone who always was out in the limelight, wanted to shine. I think, like you said, Christ put something in me that made me go all out. Yeah.
So you were like no head girl or captain or none of that?
See, I have tried everything.
And
so
you failed or like?
yes, because maybe I didn't try hard enough. And also being the head girl captain in school is a little bit of a popularity contest.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Maybe I wasn't that popular because again, I never tried really hard at anything. You know,
Does that
like
hurt you?
I've come to terms with it.
Oh man,
I'm an
I
RJ
think
now.
we all do.
I'm popular in every circle of my
I
life
think we
now,
all
so-
do. By the way, I
Yeah.
really like. I'm gonna say this myself. I feel like that whole captain, vice captain, president, vice president thing. I mean, I've won it a few times, maybe later in college,
Yeah.
but school, I was like.
It gets to you also. You're so
fucking gets to
vulnerable.
you, you know?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
what the fuck am I doing wrong here, bitch?
Exactly.
Like, I'm good as well.
You're giving the speeches, you're doing
Yeah.
the campaigning,
Yeah.
you're making friends with
And you
people,
don't
but why
get
you're
the
not
votes.
winning?
Yeah.
It's just a horrible popularity contest in
Yeah.
school. Like if you're popular in one group of people in your high school or middle
Yeah.
school, you will make it.
You'll make it.
Yeah, that every person in that one group was a captain, vice captain, or a head girl. You know,
Oh,
that's how it was in my
that's
school.
true.
You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one popular
It
group.
was.
So
I remember there was this one election. This was like, I think, second year of college.
okay.
And it stood for the president or whatever. And then as the campaign went on, I started to feel like, this is not going to work. Like, I don't think this is going to happen. Like, and I was so embarrassed to even give the speech. Like, I wrote the speech and asked my friend to give the speech. I didn't turn up for the election day. So my friend's standing there giving my speech. And obviously I fucking lost. Like, who the fuck is going to vote for the guy who didn't turn up on the election day? Because I knew I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
But it's been,
So even in my school, I stood for like, oh my god, I stood for like 2-3 elections, and I have hilarious anecdotes from them, because one thing with me is that I'm never scared to embarrass myself, okay? And I try too hard. Maybe that's the reason I never won.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try too hard.
Yeah.
Like this one election, it happened right after the release of Humble Politician Nagraj.
Wow.
Okay?
And you try to speak like Nags.
So the entire campaign speech I gave as Humble Politician Nagraj. And I had a...
Flat. It didn't fall flat.
I mean, there were like 2-3 people who gave me cheers out of pity, but otherwise it did fall flat, because school elections, like I said, are about being popular, and that's the least popular thing you can do. Like, you're trying to mimic a character out of a movie. I think it was very... Like, I love that I put that effort. I think it was very cool. I think it would have worked much later in my life, when popularity is not so important in life.
Yeah.
But then it was just, people were just staring at me.
What the fuck is that?
I continued. I did the whole act.
How long did you speak like
It was, I think it was easily 3-4 minutes, and I wish I remembered that speech.
Respect.
Yeah, I practiced, I prepared. I had like a sidekick also who came and whispered random things, and I made jokes about that. Monjunath. Yeah, shout out to that friend who was my sidekick also. But she agreed to get embarrassed with me in front of the whole school assembly. But yeah, I had fun. Never won, but I think I had fun.
You tried.
I entertained.
More important. So you never won any of those things, but you had the...
I think I always tried different things,
And theatre, what point did you try theatre?
I think very actively I started doing a lot of theatre during COVID.
Okay.
Like, it was in COVID when I had a lot of time, and all of my there was time for my latent desires and all of that to come up. It was when I decided to actively start being a part of theatre circles, at least, because it was COVID, obviously it was all online.
Yeah.
So I started doing a lot of online play readings, 1 or 2 auditions here and there. There's this theatre group called Bangalore Little Theatre, a very famous theatre group in Bangalore, and they did a lot of events and activities during COVID, like play readings. There was also this thing they used to do every month called the Monologue Circle, where you either write your own monologue, or you take a monologue from a film or a play, and then you recite it and you say it, you act it out. So I had a lot of fun doing that. And after COVID, that opened up a few opportunities for me to act in a few small Kannada English plays here and there. But yeah, that's about it. And obviously college also.
Christ has a pretty
exactly,
prominent team.
A lot of too many theatre teams. And I love how all the competition in Christ is all just internal. It's all just inside. It never goes outside. Like, you have to win so many internal competitions.
By the time you're done with that,
you're done. You're exhausted. So a lot of but I did a little bit of theatre in college also.
And what did you study as part of your degree?
So I did my BA in Media and Communications, English, and psychology.
Super. And during school, what was it like? Were you like expected to score high grades, or like what was the scene at home?
My parents were the most chill parents when it came to academics. They were strict in every other way, like be it going out with friends or partying, going to sleepovers, all of that they were very strict with. But academics, they were very chill. Like, there's not a single day that my mom or dad has sat with me to make me study or do my homework with me or things like that. Wow. And maybe that kind of put the responsibility and onus of being a good student on me. Like, if I failed, it was my responsibility. So the expectation was like I myself had that expectation
yeah.
of myself.
Because of
Like
the
no one
freedom.
else had to expect anything of me, and I had very high expectations from myself. So it was very natural that I was usually the topper in class.
What the fuck,
One
you
of the
were a
toppers.
topper?
Yes. Very topper student I was.
Next level.
Yeah.
Next level. I didn't
Also,
expect that.
I have an elder brother,
Okay.
and he was also very academically driven. So maybe I saw a little bit of that, and maybe got a little from there. But there was no pressure or expectation from home to be somebody.
Sure.
The expectation was, I just gave myself anxiety attacks for no reason. Like it was very annoying. Like I was very anxious about studies all the time.
To ensure you score well.
Yeah, I had
do
to.
well,
I had
and-
to. Like, if there was a test, it had to be 20 on 20. If I got a 19 and a half, I would go home crying.
Oh,
And my mom is like, "Are you mad? Chill out. Even if you got a my dad literally in 9th grade, he was like, I will buy you maybe something that I really liked then. If there was a toy or there was something, I will buy you that thing if you fail. Show me that you can fail." Because he thought I couldn't. Like, I'm too afraid to fail. So he's like, "You show me you can fail. This whatever some exam that I had." He's like, "You fail all the exams and I'll buy you this."
Wow.
Yeah, my parents were like that. It was very weird. Very
Right now, Aditya can't connect with you.
I was wondering.
Aditya has no idea what you're talking about. It's like, what type of world is
Yeah.
she from?
Very.
Because from the world I come.
Yeah. Trust me, it was very unusual and bizarre to me also, because I grew up with friends who faced a lot of pressure at home,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like parents would scold them if they didn't score well, and they're like, "How do you score so amazing?" And I used to be, it was me giving myself anxiety attacks to score really
Wow.
good. It's very annoying. In that
Nice.
way.
So let's fast forward. You're in college. You take up this degree at Christ, of course. Considering your creative pursuits and all of that. But when you joined Christ, what was the idea? Like, what did you want to do after degree? Was there any plan, or like that plan kind of got made on the go?
I feel like throughout my life, there's always been a plan, in the sense that I've always very clearly known what I don't want to do.
Oh,
I've always been very, very clear about that. And I have, my decisions have been led by that. And I've ended up wherever I've ended up because of those. It's like an act of negation. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I clearly don't want to do this. So maybe the one good option left is this. Let me do that. Let me see if that leads me somewhere. So maybe that's what got me to. So in 10th, when I had to make that decision of, do you choose science, commerce, or humanities? I saw my brother slog and stuff. He's really smart. Okay, but like, it's a lot of hard work, right? If you're preparing for all of those competitive exams, I'm like, I cannot. Like, I like to put effort. I like to put a lot of, I am hardworking. I like to put genuine effort. Like I told you, I've been very academic all my life, in college, in school. But I knew that I couldn't put that academic textbook effort anymore. So I chose humanities. And then I had a vague idea of what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be... I've always had like creative inclinations. So I knew I wanted to do something creative, but I didn't know what exactly. But I again knew what I didn't want to do. Like I knew I didn't want to do a BA in any academic subject. Like I didn't want to do history, philosophy or geography and all of that, because again it'll be a lot of studying, and then it'll be masters and PhD and whatnot. So I chose the most practical subject there, which is media and mass communication, which seemed like a very hands-on,
decent umbrella
subject.
to start with.
Correct. And obviously by then all of us, I was very, very exposed to content creation, social media. So I knew maybe I'll find a job in content creation, social media somewhere. So that's how I ended up in media and communication in Christ, through not knowing what I don't want to do.
Yeah, I just want to kind of talk about that whole idea of knowing what you don't want to do. I think this is one of the most underrated pathways to finding what suits you.
I agree.
Because I really want to call this out. Like, it's been, I think even today I live the same. It's been a very it's like a filtration process. At every part of your life, you're like, okay, what don't I want?
Correct.
What doesn't point in the direction that I want to go for? But I think what is also required to be able to live the way you're saying is to constantly try different things.
Yes,
because that's your investment. If you're
Exactly.
constantly trying a lot of things, you're also able to figure out what you don't want.
but that's what I love about making decisions like this. When you know you don't want to do certain things, it also opens up yourself to try a lot of different things, like you get to try many things and also then decide what you don't want to do, what you want to do. So you're always open, you're always curious, you're always wanting to try something. So that's the beauty of the process of negation.
True.
Yeah.
And I think it takes courage to say this is something I can do, but I don't want to do it. It's very easy. There's so many people doing it because they can do it and not because they want to do it.
Right.
And very soon they're in this toxic relationship with, whether they're studying or whether they're working. It's like, hey, I thought I could do that. Yeah, but you want to do it,
Yeah.
It's like your talent can be used in a lot of ways.
In
but
fact,
when
a lot
you
of
use
people
it-
were very surprised when I chose to do humanities and chose this path in my life and didn't do something very conventional or traditional, like maybe in engineering or medicine, because I was academically very good. So that's the natural expectation, right? Like if you are good in your studies, if if you've been a topper in class, then you choose science, you do something of that, you choose academic pursuits in life. So when I chose to do humanities, when I chose to do media and communication, a lot of people advised me against it. Not my parents, of course, they were always chill with as long as I'm a good girl, as long as I don't drink or smoke or any of that, they're fine with whatever I do in life. But yeah, so a lot of people even advised me against, choosing,
taking this up.
making these choices, making these decisions.
Yeah, I think it was I made that mistake in PU. I think I scored pretty good in 10th with ICSE, and suddenly people are saying, oh, you're damn smart, fucking
Exactly.
sizing me up, dude,
Yeah.
you're killer. This. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do PCMB, I'm gonna be this doctor and all of that. I took up the PCMB, I did well, but again those 2 years I'm struggling through it. I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done, no more. And after that just shifted to BBM and I said, this is life.
And that's the problem in school also. No, you don't really know what your options are. You see people around you. You see that the smart kids are doing science. And maybe the not so conventionally smart kids are doing humanities. But I've always found that to be the opposite, Like every humanities class that I've entered, be it in school or in college, has been significantly smarter than a commerce class or than a science class. Because I think in science and commerce, you're behind textbooks. But in humanities, you're experiencing life, you're seeing, you're reading literature, you're analyzing things. You develop a lot of critical thinking by being in humanities. So anyone who's considering taking science, but you are very smart, take up humanities. You'll be a great thinker.
But I think it's also like the teachers play a huge role in setting that right context. Like
Correct. That
I
expectation.
think, if the teachers speak about those subjects in the right way, it just becomes easier. You can't choose.
There is
one
that
subject.
hierarchy always.
That hierarchy
Science,
has
commerce,
to
humanities
really
hierarchy.
it has to be removed.
Needs to change.
I know it's changed in a lot of places, but I know it's still not changed in a lot of places. So
I hope it continues to change because people will really.
It made your life.
Exactly.
It made your life. It gave you that freedom. It made you understand, okay, I can lead this life that I
You'll only really know your potential when you do what you like or what you want to do, instead of what people think you will be good at.
Awesome. So you're at Christ, you finished degree, and what was the first where was the light of radio? Where did that come?
I found the light of radio in the darkness of unemployment.
As raw as it gets.
So towards the last year of college, obviously that pressure of finding a job, pressure of placement creeps up on you from out of nowhere. One day you're just chilling in college, you're just with friends, and then the next day you're stressing about, oh my God, I need to figure out if I'm going to be employed or unemployed for the rest of my life. So that I don't know for what reason, but that hit me like a boulder, that pressure of finding a job.
You need to figure something out for yourself.
And I could have been more chill about it. I could have just been like, I will find my way. But no, I was like, oh my God, I was just anxious and all over the place. And I sat for almost every kind of placement. But even when I sat for placements, I knew I didn't want to sit for those placements. So I sat for it because I was scared I might not have a job after college. But even if I got any job offers from the companies that were hiring, I just refused them. I was like, no, it's okay. I don't want this or I don't want that. Or I don't like this about the company. So college got over, I was not placed, and that just made me more anxious. I'm like, am I not capable or worthy of a job?
What were the type of placements coming though? What do you get like for a course like this?
So a lot of very varied placements. They were not like, I feel like it could have been a lot more specific and filtered out for a media and communication course, but I think the placement committee of Christ just sent anything and everything our way.
Like what? I'm very
like
curious.
HR jobs, a lot of HR jobs
Ad
actually.
agencies.
Fewer ad agencies came our way. I would have loved to work in an ad agency, but there were just like 2 or 3. And the placement committee in Christ let anyone and everyone sit for those jobs, not just people in media and communication, but also commerce, also science. Anyone who wanted to try it out. And I was like, we are trained for this. We've done a 3-year degree for this. Why are you allowing someone in commerce or science to also sit for the same placements and reduce our chances of getting a job that we're trained at? But that happened a lot.
Fuck ups, these are the parts of the system that's still not in place.
Exactly.
Like, the fact that you're telling me that this happened is like just okay. Anyway.
It discourages people from choosing these, right?
Yeah.
Although today media rules the world, media rules our lives, but people will still, it's everything.
So then what happened?
So college got over. I was not placed because although I wanted to get placed, I was very picky about the kind of job I wanted to do, because I think somewhere in my head I knew I wanted to do this kind of a job where I get to make an impact, where I get to have conversations. So I was unemployed for about a month. I interned at an amazing NGO, and I think me ending up in this job is just the right place at the right time and making these subconscious choices of, no, I don't want to do this job. I'm sure I won't enjoy it. So I was just doom scrolling on LinkedIn as someone unemployed would do or should do. And believe it or not, I found the job calling for an RJ on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn of all places, like I would have never imagined that people
Finding
would put
an actual job of an RJ on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, maybe through I wouldn't have been so surprised if I found it on Instagram or through some contact or something. But I found it on LinkedIn saying, "Hey, we're looking for RJs," and the person who had put that post, I DM'd him because he was a content creator, Shreyas Rao. He was my first boss.
He's been on here.
He's been here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, awesome.
He's been on here.
Yeah, so
he was your boss?
He was my boss. Wow. He was the one who hired me, so kudos to him.
What a boss, dude.
So amazing. It was too fun. My first couple of months in Mirchi was amazing, and it was very chill. But so I slid into his DMs and I'm like, hey, please, I would love to do this job. I think I'd be the perfect fit for it. And I sent this long DM. And he's like, yeah, sure. Send us your resume, send us your profile. And after that, there were a couple of interviews, there were a couple of auditions and whatnot. And I found myself here. So yes, right place, right time, and subconscious decision making.
Wow, damn cool. But I always thought you never really directly interview for being an RJ. I always thought there's this grind that happens. That was the other question that I had. Like a lot of people who I know said, hey, you know what? I used to get tea and coffee for the producer, and then I had to do 6 months of this and 6 months of that. And 2 years later, I got this small 30-minute gig. But what's this luck that's played your
Exactly. It surprises me till today because a job as performative as this, performance oriented, I shouldn't say performative, performance oriented like this, even I would assume that it takes a lot, right, to get there. A bunch of auditions and a little bit of kissing ass, getting coffee, tea and all of that. But no, it was pretty straightforward, and I loved that
cool.
I loved that they made it so reachable, because it genuinely allows for talent to be seen and
no, they must have it must have just, like you said, right place, right time, right person. Everything
Correct.
just kind of came together. They would have felt, okay, this is great. I think.
And also, I think the radio that you're describing was maybe a couple of years ago.
Okay, things have changed.
Things have changed, I think. Now it's I think, at least in my experience, radio has also become a lot more corporate. It is, as in the hiring, the external processes of radio, not maybe the output.
Has become very corporate.
Yeah, which is in a way
very
good,
straightforward.
right?
Yeah,
It's giving
Gives
you
the
a
right
stable income, a
opportunities,
stable job.
yeah.
It's not contract based. Maybe
Yeah.
earlier RJs also worked a lot on contract
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah, even for free. Like there's
Exactly,
a
even for
lot of
free,
people
yeah.
never got paid for months together. and
Correct,
stuff.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So in a way, it's good that it has turned out to be the way it is. At
Sweet.
least for me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
the job.
Kudos to you, and
Yeah.
thank God things worked out, and you're in the place that you are. So
know.
you take up this, job. Like, did it feel natural? Did it feel like, this is, or did it feel like a little like,
No, nothing that has ever come my way so amazing. No big opportunity that has come my way has ever felt natural to me. I don't know. Maybe it's my own insecurities. I've always felt like an imposter syndrome. So although I've always I love yapping, I love talking, I think I'm great with people, I'm great with conversations. Although somewhere at the back of my mind, I knew I would do great at this job. When I got the job, I had just heavy imposter syndrome. I'm like, why are they hiring me? Do they think I'm someone that I'm not? Did I give up the wrong impression in the
vibe,
interview?
wrong impression.
Maybe I just came off too confident. Maybe I'm not as confident. I'm not good enough to do this job. And all of those questions obviously came. And that has always been there with me. Like any good opportunity that comes my way,
yeah.
my first reaction to it is okay, yay, but the immediate reaction after that is this heavy imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
of
you remember what you asked me as well.
Exactly, that question was driven by imposter syndrome.
Like, why me?
Yeah.
Why are you inviting me?
Yeah, and people close to me say that, always caution me about it. They're like, why? Take it in your stride.
Yeah.
You're there for a reason. Like, don't question why you get an opportunity. If you've put genuine effort, if you've put honest effort behind it. So yes. What was your question?
Did it feel natural?
It didn't feel natural initially.
It didn't.
Yeah, but it took me some time to live with that imposter syndrome, get used to it, and believe and understand that yes, I'm here for a reason. I've been hired for a reason, and it took me some time to make it feel natural.
Yeah, tell me one thing about this whole radio bit that still seems a little odd to you, or something that you'd want different.
In radio?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, something that you feel,
Something that I would
this
want.
could have been different. This feels a little off. This is, any of these. Yeah, I'll make it simpler for you. Something that you'd want it different, a change.
A change.
Like just in
I
the
think-
radio scene as of today.
The thing is that I have been given a lot of freedom to experiment. So I feel like I've tried out everything that I want. I have been trying all that I want to try out in radio.
Okay.
So I really can't think of anything that I want different. I can just pitch it and I know it, and I know I can get that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know I've asked you like I've asked you like a very sensitive question. Like, I don't want you to lose your job.
No.
But-
That's the least of my worries. I don't think I'll lose my job, but okay, maybe one very specific thing that I think can definitely change about radio, or I think that can't change about radio. It can't, but it's just an annoying part of radio that I don't like.
Go ahead.
Is doing these things called RJMs. Okay, RJMs. RJMs, radio jockey mentions. Any radio jockey listening to this podcast would totally get why I don't like it also.
Okay,
So
which
it's
is?
basically like on social media you have sponsored videos, right?
Yeah.
RJMs are sponsored links. So some brand comes and says that you're going to be doing a link on radio, and it has to be like you're doing a link very naturally, talking about your life, talking about the city or something, but you have to slightly do one plug. Okay, but those RJMs are written very terribly. Okay, like it's so
not
obvious that it's a plug.
It's a fucking plug.
Yeah, I used to go to my nani's house when I was a kid, and I loved to drink her mango milkshake. And if you miss that feeling of nostalgia, try out this mango milkshake. It's obviously a plug, especially to my listeners who are listening to me every single day, right? So they know if I'm doing a plug, it's very obvious. The change in tone, change in the way I speak will be obvious.
Yeah.
So I know that cannot change because
Do they
that's our bread
dictate
and
tone?
butter. No, but when you read an RJM,
It's
you
meant-
know the
yeah,
tone. There has to be a tone to it. Yeah. So, but that can't change because that's our bread and butter, right? That's how we make our money. So,
But why
maybe
can't, like, haven't you come across a brand that's like more open, saying, hey, you know what, do it your way? Or that's never a case?
I mean,
why can't they
they'll
just
say do it
trust-
your way, and then they'll make 1,000 different changes.
1,000 different changes.
So,
Why can't they just
in the
fucking
end,
trust
it's
the
like,
RJ
just do
and
it
say,
their
listen,
way.
dude, pitch my product. Here's the cash. Your radio is earning the money. We trust you. Your talent. You do it your way.
But sometimes it's also very bizarre product pitches, right? Something that might not really have a connect to your life, but you have to speak about it like it connects to your life.
connects to your life.
Like real estate or something. I'm going to buy an apartment. I'm not at a position in my life to buy an apartment, but I have to talk about it like as if I'm at a position to buy an apartment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
These are a little odd.
Yeah.
But
apart from that, on a larger, can't think of anything right now. But maybe during anything else.
Something comes to your mind.
Something that was very difficult for me was the consistency. Like I need to be, when I first got the job, I thought it's going to be a chill job. How difficult can it be?
Speak all day.
Yeah, to speak all day, right? So I'm just going to go there, I'm going to talk a bunch and come back home. But it's not as easy as that. You need to, I host the morning show, so I'm there from 7 to 12, and I need to be there in the studio every single day at 6:15 in the morning.
Okay.
Right? So that kind of consistency was something that was, that kind of, that came that was a little difficult for me, but I think I'm more used to it now. So, and I like it. That's one good, that's a good thing about radio that was difficult for me, but that's not something I want to change. That's something that I think everyone should have in their lives.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what was one of the wow moments in this 1 year where you felt, dude, this was really fucking cool? Like, I did some real, next level shit today.
I think I have wow moments almost on like an everyday basis.
Okay.
But some of the wow moments are obviously when you meet celebrities.
Give me one or two that you know that day was pretty fucking epic.
Okay, so one wow moment was me meeting a celebrity for the very first time, like a major celebrity, which was Shan.
Oh.
I got to meet Shan. I shot a video with him. So that was crazy because I didn't expect going into his vanity van. I didn't expect to I didn't expect him to be so accessible, right? Because you've seen him on TV, you've heard I've grown up with his music. It's Shan. And someone who listens to Bollywood music as religiously as I do, I've grown up listening to him, right? So I walked into his vanity van and he's just standing there and I'm like, it was like a real pinch me moment. I could not believe that I'm in the same. And he was just right there. I wanted to hug him, kiss him, do everything right there. And he was so sweet. He was suggesting camera angles because I just froze. I didn't know what to do. I'm in the vanity van with him. I'm like, what do I do? Like, do I explain the video to him? Do I have a conversation with him? Do I tell him how much I love him? What do I do at this moment? And he was eating a banana. He's like, I'm so sorry. He apologizes. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm in a hurry, but we can do this video. Where do you want to shoot? And he's suggesting video angles. He's like, maybe this will look nice. Maybe I can do this. And I'm like, thank you, Shan. This is a Shandar moment of my life. I've made that joke many times. I had to make it here also.
Plug.
But that was one. And another pinch me moment as an RJ was when you interact with callers and when they say, oh my God, I'm so excited to speak to you. I've been waiting for so many days to talk to you. It really shows how much you mean to them and how much you're the kind of impact you're making in their lives, and they're so excited. It's like 8:30 in the morning. They're stuck in peak hour outer ring road traffic. But the minute you call them, you know you've made their day because you can hear it in their voice. I'm so excited to speak to you. I've been messaging you. I've been trying to call you. I've been trying to get your line for so many days. I have so much to say, and then they talk about their lives. They talk about their kids, about what they do. That was another pinch me moment, and that I have almost on an everyday basis. Every single time a caller calls me and says, "I'm so excited to speak to you," I can't believe it. I'm like, "You're excited to speak to me? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have you met me? I'm excited to speak to you." So,
Tell me something a caller said that stayed with you.
Things like these, like I've been stuck in traffic. It's horrible. I'm usually very pissed off, angry, frustrated. But today's going to be a good day. Because my day is starting off with your call.
With your call.
So imagine that,
That's really nice.
Things like that. And I've had a lot of bizarre conversations with my listeners also.
Okay,
like recently I did a queer special on my show, and one of the questions I asked on air was, how many genders do you think there are? Right?
Okay.
It's a very touchy topic to pick on a medium like radio especially.
Yes, of course.
So I was looking forward to the kind of messages I
Answers
get.
that you're gonna get.
And one that I got just blew my mind, so I had to call that person up. So in his message he had said, so every other week there are hundreds of genders getting added, but I hope it stops at 95. And I'm like, why 95? Okay. So I called him up and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And he first starts off with ranting about traffic. He's like, "Oh my God, there's so much traffic," and all of that. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm so sorry for you where you're stuck in traffic," and all of that. And then I'm like, "How many genders do you think there should be?" And he's like, "I don't know, ma. Every other week, new genders are getting added. It's constantly increasing like this traffic only. But I think because 95 Michi I'm speaking in today, I think it should stop at 95 and not hit a century." And I'm like, "Okay, wow. But what's wrong in it hitting a century?" He's like, no. I'm like, "Centuries are good, right? What's wrong in that?" And he's like, "Centuries are good otherwise. But this, no. Century it should not hit. It should stop right there." And I'm like, "How many genders do you think there should be?" Okay, to that also he gave a very nice response. He's like, "As long as everybody is open and okay, who am I to judge? They can be whatever gender they want to be." And I'm like, "Then what's wrong with 100 genders? Let there be 150 genders also." He's like, "Yeah." And he thought for a minute. He's like, "See, I'm growing old, Numa. So I cannot remember. That's the problem." And I'm like, wow. This is so bizarre and the cutest conversation I've had on air. He was so honest, genuine.
Yeah.
I just absolutely loved that.
Wow. Yeah, I was just speaking his mind then.
He was just speaking his mind, and that's what I love. Like, they want to speak to you. They want to share what's on their mind. They really treat you like one of their own, and it's just so special.
Tell me something you said on live that you were like, "Fuck, I shouldn't have said that."
Bye. This might make me lose my job.
Let's see.
A lot of things, but one that I can remember is this country, cricket is a religion. Okay, and as a morning show jock, I need to be extremely well versed with cricket. All right, but
Yeah, I think that I should have known that. I don't know where you're going with this. But
yes, I might disappoint you as well, but let's see.
No, that's okay.
I'm not I've watched cricket, I watch IPL, I follow cricket like from like an outsider, okay? But I'm not very well versed with cricket. So whenever I have to talk about cricket on air, it makes me really nervous. Because I know I'm going to say something wrong, or I'm going to get some score wrong, or I'm going to say something wrong about some person. And I made the silliest, stupidest mistake. When you think of making a mistake, you make that mistake, right?
During the IPL?
Not during the IPL.
Thank God.
I mean...
Okay, go for it.
Wait, I'm sure during the IPL also I've made a lot of mistakes.
Oh, fuck.
But this was just very recently. I was talking about the 1983 World Cup, because it was on 25th June that they won the World Cup. So I was just talking about that. And I was like, 1983, they won. It was on this day that they won the World Cup. And I said, it was on this day that Kapil Sharma's team lifted the trophy.
This is like your Alia Bhatt moment.
Yes. And it went on air, and I didn't even realize I've made a mistake. I was like, "Oh wow, what a beautiful delivery, what a beautiful link."
Congratulations.
Yeah, I have stirred emotions in my listeners, and like 5 people messaged me. They're like, Anjali, it's not Kapil Sharma. It's Kapil Dev. You should respect the cricket team that won the 1983 Cup. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, damn.
Genuine mistake. So things
was
like these
oops.
happen.
That
Yeah.
was oops moment.
Like a very big oops moment.
And the guys that have been listening to your show are like what, corporates, school,
Mostly.
college? What's
I get
what do you think your audience is?
my listener base is a mix of all of these people, but largely corporate audience, obviously. People who are traveling to work in peak hour traffic. But a lot of obviously school and college children also traveling with their parents to college or school or whatnot. Yeah, but largely a corporate audience. Who are,
Sure.
like the most common response that I get when I call someone, I'm like, what do you do for work? IT. That's all. IT. There's no more description to that. I genuinely don't know what people in IT do. They just say IT. Like, what is? It's such a mystery to me.
Yeah.
What is IT? You just
What
say
do you do in
IT.
IT?
What do you do in IT? What's your job?
Yeah.
I work in IT. What is it? It's so scary to me. Narayan,
Better not to-
please help me out.
Better not to divulge. I
Yeah,
think.
so-
It's very. Anyway,
That's my audience.
how does one decide today, like as a listener, what do you think makes a person want to listen or tune in to one radio channel over the other? What's like the one factor?
I
Of
think
course,
it's majorly the music that you choose to play for them, but also so it's equal parts the music and the jock that's talking. So if the jock connects to you, if they're saying something useful, informational, because I host a morning show, a lot of people want to hear something that might come of use to them in the day, or they want to hear what news is happening, they want to hear the gossip of politics or something, right? So if you can give out that information and also give out a strong opinion with it, they want to listen to you. And so it's equal parts the music that you play for them and the person who's talking to you through radio.
What rapport you're able to build.
Correct.
Why doesn't Indian radio allow you to swear on radio? Like, why will we ever get there? Does Western radio allow you to swear on radio?
Honestly, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah, like I've never understood like what's.
I think it's because
I think we'll never get there.
when radio first came into our lives, it was a very powerful medium, right? It was a very respectable medium,
Yeah.
like AIR. So
Vivid Bharati,
exactly. So you would listen to radio to hear people you respect. You want to. It was not maybe as a medium of entertainment that it first started off. It was a medium of information. Of
There was a demeanor.
yes, there was a way.
modesty to it.
There was a modesty to it,
Yeah.
and I think that one reason why you can't swear even today is because that has somewhere continued. Today it's another medium of entertainment, like social media, like TV. But I think that memory, that nostalgia of radio is still there,
Which is
why
makes the medium special, I think.
I think and I think it's good that you don't swear. I think it's nice because your voice is your medium on radio, right? So it's nice to be able to say nice things, nice words, and convey yourself, convey your thoughts without swearing.
Without swearing.
And you can very clearly convey yourself without swearing.
Have you ever caught yourself like slipping in?
When I'm having a really casual conversation with a listener or with someone in
And
the
then you mute
studio, I hold myself. Like I know it's coming up. I'm going to say like, can I swear here?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to say
We
like,
don't have. I don't think we have.
it's
to
social
be worried
media.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like I know my reaction is going to be like fuck or oh no, oh shit or something, and I hold myself. That comes with like when you've been on air for a couple of months, you get used to it.
Yeah.
It's not very difficult not to swear. And like you said, I think that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there? I like radio. I think it's cool. I think the whole surprise element of what's coming up next is nice.
Correct.
We talk about the elephant in the room, advertisements on radio. I mean, I know nobody likes to talk about this.
It's the elephant in the room and the elephant on our airtime also.
On your
Takes up so much time.
Yeah.
Doesn't let me speak and yap and talk to my listeners.
So let me ask you this: if there's a 60-minute show by RJ Anjali today, how many minutes should I expect to be taken.
I don't want to reveal these secrets because you won't listen to my show anymore.
No, like, okay.
But on a horrible
Give
day,
me like a range.
it can be anywhere between like 7 minutes of ads and 60
What,
minutes.
in 60 minutes? What lies?
I swear to God.
What
I swear
fucking
to God.
lies,
It can be
dude?
anywhere. No, I'm not lying.
This is sold. She sold
I'm just trying to sell
herself.
myself. Yeah.
Sold herself.
Guys, listen. 5 minutes ads. That's
51
all.
minutes of this interview was raw and honest, and the 52nd minute, Anjali just
Adarsh.
becomes a sellout.
I'm giving you a range. There are hours where there's just 7 minutes of ads.
Really, like,
But there are also
at 2 in the
hours.
morning.
I mean, I didn't specify the hour. You can assume. But there have also been hours where there are. I have to be honest now, since you've called me out.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
No, give me a range, dude. I don't
that's
want
what,
to.
7
I don't want to
minutes
put you in
to about the maximum that I have experienced is like
20.
more.
More? 25?
35.
Oh,
Sometimes 35, 36 minutes of ads.
Depends on
The time, the day. So during the closer to the weekends, we have more ads. Say at 9 a.m. in the morning, there are more ads because there are more people who are tuned in. Or at 7 p.m. in the evening, we have more ads. But if you listen to a 7 a.m. hour of my show, there have been times where there are only about 7-8 minutes of ads.
That's damn cool.
That's damn cool. You get to explore. You get to do a lot more. Or on a Saturday, there are much lesser ads.
When a radio is playing more ads, does it mean it's doing well or it's not doing well? Like, no. Like, it's always been
There's
on
a
my
lot.
mind.
There's a very funny that you asked me this question because very recently our COO came and gave us a very nice speech about all of this.
About this?
But it could mean both, you know. It could mean either.
It can actually.
So
I don't think it can mean one thing.
so sometimes it could mean either. So sometimes when you have a lot of ads, it might mean you're making a lot of profits and a lot of revenue. But sometimes it can also mean that you're selling a larger volume of ads for lesser amount of money also.
Sure.
So that can also happen, you know, because truth be told, yes, the value of radio is slightly lesser today because there's a diversity of media for entertainment. A brand that is choosing to be on radio can now also advertise on social media, can now also advertise on OTT, on every other platform, right? So because of that diversity, I think the value just gets split there. At one point of time, maybe someone who advertised on radio could only advertise on radio. So supply demand, exclusivity, supply demand. Yes, so there was more demand. It's more expensive. So yeah, it could mean either. So maybe during festive times or something, when there is a larger volume of ads, it does mean that there is higher revenue, higher profits because a lot of brands do want to advertise during festival times. But during other times, maybe when there are too many ads, maybe it could just mean that it is just you're selling more ads for lesser money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can a small business today advertise on radio?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how does a small business like reach out? What should a small business do today if they want to feature on your show? Like, how does it work?
If they want to feature,
like, let's say I'm a cosmetic brand and I want to like feature on your show. What do I do?
So there's a little bit of difference to that. There's a difference to advertising and getting featured on my show. If I am talking about your brand, there's a lot more that you need to be doing. If I need to talk about it, it needs to pique my interest in some way. Or you'll have to be paying if you're going through the traditional, say, if you're approaching Radio Mirchi and then saying I want to advertise and I want RJ Anjali to talk about do an RJM about my brand, then there's a lot more money involved in that. But if you just want to approach me and want me to talk about your small brand, there has to be some value that it adds to my listeners. Otherwise, I won't talk about it. Or I need to feel like.
Do you have the freedom to do that?
If I feel like it's an interesting business, if it's an important business. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, tomorrow you see
it won't be like a direct advertisement. I'll be talking about their journey. It'll be very much like this, right? It won't be like a direct plug-in. I won't be saying, hi, I'm RJ Anjali, come listen to my show. I'll talk about their journey, why they're doing that particular business. Say it's a dog grooming business that specifically colors your dog's hair into purple or something. That's a very interesting thing. People want to listen to what kind of a business does that. that. So
you
I have the freedom
you
to
have
do
the
that.
freedom to look at someone and say, hey, you know what, I want to get you on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I've been doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Damn cool.
But if you just want to advertise, then you can just go to the regular sales
Go to
route,
the
approach a
traditional.
salesperson, a marketing person in Radio Mirchi, pay
Sure.
for it and do it. Yeah.
Sure. So now there's this, one of the things that's changed about radio jockeys is today they want to be out there. They want their personality to be out there. Of course, this is like this has been around for a good decade where people can now put a face to the radio jockey, right? We are no more living in a time where it's just the voice. They don't know who the person is, all of that. And which is why I guess you guys are now allowed to open up your phones in your studio, record everything, show your life. I think it's pretty open now, you're allowed to show all that. So how's that journey been for you? Like, are you constantly thinking, how do I make better content at the studio? Are you just like, hey, you know what, let me just document what's going on? How's your journey been with social media and portraying yourself out there? Has it been easy? Yeah.
I feel like because I come from this generation, I think social media comes not so, like, content creation doesn't come so naturally to me, but because I spend so much of my time on social media, I think it comes very naturally to me. But for a lot of other RJs, maybe who've been in the industry for so long, it is an added pressure because
It's a learning curve.
because the kind of content you put out on radio is very different from the kind of content you put out on social media.
Yeah.
So if you have to be visible on two different platforms, you're doing like double the amount of work than you would do if you were just an RJ or just a content creator, right? So that has been to find that balance has been a little difficult for me also, which is why, although I'm extremely consistent with radio, which I should be, I have to be there in the studio at 6:15 in the morning, do my show for 5 hours. I have not been able to replicate that consistency on social media because it's a lot of thinking that you're doing, different kinds of content on radio, different kinds of content on social media. But I feel like I have sort of found my niche, so I think I will get more consistent with my presence on social media as well. But yeah, it's a little difficult to juggle two things, but
It's
like you
very
said,
hard. Very difficult.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But like you said, today media of entertainment is diversifying, and it's the need of the hour. Like, even if you're an actor, you need to be on social media. Actually, honestly, at this point of time, if you're in any profession, you're on social media.
If you're a carpenter, you need to be on social
Absolutely,
media.
yeah.
If you're a gardener, you need to be
On social media, yeah. It's just life has moved from physical networking to network. If you want to create networks, if you want to get more work, if you want to grow, it has unfortunately become like a necessity to have a social media presence. So I don't enjoy it a lot because it doesn't come very easily to me. But I know it is a necessity of today's world, not just my job. So
No, I think if you are able to generate more content, I think it'll be really cool. I think you're in a nice space. It's a lot of work, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think if you're able to create, like, say 2-3 segments.
Exactly.
What's the word that Azan keeps using? IP.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Those are like
create like 2-3 IPs.
Those
which
are everyday
like
discussions in the office. Yeah.
Anjali specific. I think there's a lot
Find
of
my
scope.
niche.
I think there's a lot of, it's a lot of work, I understand.
Yeah.
But
and I think I have to a certain extent found my niche. I talk about a lot of Bangalore related things, and as a Bangalorean, I love doing that, right? I've grown up here, I've lived here all my life, and on radio I get to connect with the city, and if I can help people connect with the city better through my social media also, it makes me happy and makes it easier.
Yeah. No, I think I really, like, one of the things I wish for you is, like, I really hope that you're able to get light to topics that matter. I think it's, I think people have intention, like a lot of people on the radio have intention to bring light to topics, but I think you should always also have that, it's like a thing to pick on the right things, right? Pick on the things of the day. Like, I really feel like you're this person who can bring light to a lot of things that are present day that need attention. I just wish, maybe that's a nice that's what I'd
you're
wish for
right.
you.
You're
That's
right,
what
yeah.
I wish for you.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I can bring light to topics that need attention,
Yeah.
I think that's all I need to do as an
Yeah.
artist. That's my job, right? Like,
True.
I need to be able to add value to people's lives in some
Yeah.
way or the other, and value to myself also
Yeah.
by connecting people to things that they should that I think they should think about and that I think they should be concerned about. Yeah.
Sure. What's one thing about radio that is fairly like in the works? That's probably exciting you. That okay, there's something, a project, there's some new approach, something that's awaiting that you're probably excited about, or yeah.
So I just finished with like a very big project of mine, which was this queer special that I did.
Yes,
It was a lot of planning,
of course.
meeting people.
Lot of
So
work.
yeah, I'm just out of that. Something that I'm looking forward to is like you said, maybe talking about things that I really want to.
Yeah.
Now that I'm, it's been about a year. It's been just a year that I've been
Okay.
working. So now that I'm a lot more comfortable with the medium,
Sure.
I really want to talk about things that really affect me, concern me, and I think concern a lot of people in Bangalore as
Yeah.
well. Yes, I have a few exciting campaigns in the works, which I will reveal.
Super. With time.
Yes,
With time.
a lot of very traffic related, Bangalore related, fun campaigns. So yes.
Okay, looking
Yeah.
forward. Tell me some alternate career, if not for this.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Say like 5 years down the line. Option number 1, RJ Anjali.
Absolutely.
Option number 2.
I think.
Be as specific as possible.
Yeah, I'm
Not
thinking.
like-
I have a lot of things in mind.
Don't make it as generic as a degree.
Ouch!
You said it. You said it yourself.
No, I said it open.
I think I heard you there. Sorry about it. I was trying to.
No,
be
not
funny.
really.
I didn't?
Yeah, I chose that because it gave me a lot of options. It's
Yeah.
media.
That's what I
it's-
meant.
Yeah. So it might sound generic, but I'm not being generic when I say this. I think
Okay.
one profession that has really interested me is my mom is a psychologist,
Oh, wow.
and her job is also having conversations. I think
Okay.
podcast is a lot like therapy, to be honest.
It is.
No.
It is.
So
It
since I
really
love
is.
having conversations
Yeah.
with people, hearing what people have to say, I think I would
Make for a great therapist.
yeah, I think I would make a good therapist, except that like I feel a little uncomfortable delving in too deep into people's traumas. Maybe that's what stopped me from being a therapist or a psychologist. But I think I would do good at it. I'm a great listener. I like. I think I can understand people. I see people for
Yeah.
who they are. So maybe a psychologist would be something that is of
Agreed.
interest to me. Apart from that,
In media.
there are so many. I think I would love to. I'd love to do something related to travel.
Oh,
You know,
sweet.
again, you might say this is generic, but not really. Like I
No,
do
no,
genuinely
not
love traveling, and I think a lot of people are doing very cool things with travel
Yeah.
and media. So that another like a very latent dream of mine has been maybe try out a little bit of acting. I think at this point a lot of people say that, and I don't think I'd make for a really great actor, but I want to try it. I just want to be on screen,
Yeah.
maybe once in my life.
I
So
think
that's
you'll do
something.
great in ads. I don't know why I feel like you'll do great in ads.
Maybe it's my
Like very-
enthusiasm.
like very niche ads, like brands that are very strong on who they are, and I feel like you'll do pretty well there.
I have
You should try
Adarsh's
it out.
testimony, so if any brands want to reach out to me, please
open.
do. Yeah, I'm open. You have Adarsh's word. So
Damn
yeah, I think I would like to try out acting. I don't know if I'd be good at it, but it's just something that's always been at the back of my mind. So yeah, a lot of things actually. I want to try out a lot of things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much.
You had a good time.
I had a great time. Like I said, I feel like podcast is like therapy.
Yeah.
So it's been really therapeutic talking about myself,
Yeah.
hearing your thoughts. Yeah.
This was damn cool. It was, I think, like I said, this is what I expected out of you. I think that you've carried on the same energy through the 1 hour. And it's great to see. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see what you're going to be bringing to the table going
love
forward. And yeah, all the best. I feel like there's so many things that you can still try out. And I think radio deserves you. I think that's what it is. I feel like it needs people like you. Radio radio needs people like you to really show what's the, what it can do. I think it needs strong brand ambassadors to come forward and say, hey, this is what radio is. It's not just a fucking digit, it's not just a medium.
Yeah.
Right? There's a vibe, there's a
True.
there's this impact that radio has.
Correct.
There's this way of reaching people that no other media has. And I know there's parts of this whole thing that's extremely hard given the present day scenario. But I think with people like you coming onto radio, I think radio has a long way to go. I think that's what I
Thank you so much. Like I said, I think I came into this podcast with like a sense of an imposter syndrome of why I've been called to this podcast.
Yeah.
What am I going to say? What value can I add? But at the end, I feel like you have helped me. You reduce that imposter syndrome a little bit. I feel like
Sure.
I feel a lot more confident in myself, a lot more secure, and a lot more excited for what's to come. So
Glad.
thank you, Adarsh. Thank you so much.
Glad. So this was Anjali for you from Mirchi Radio. I really don't know what type of risks she's taken on this episode, but I hope nothing bites her back. But this was Anjali for you, as raw and as honest as it can get.
And all the brands listening, I'm still willing to do RJMs. That was just a joke. I need the money.
Yeah, it pays the bills.
Yes.
The bills.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you watch till here, let us know. Support Anjali. Listening to Anjali's show. There's Anjali, you said this is your first podcast, and I want you to remember that we want to be the platform to document your journey. And
So sweet.
whenever you feel like it's time to kind of do this again, just give us a buzz, and we should be here doing a part 2 of this whole thing.
Now you've set an expectation for me.
Yeah.
To go on a journey that's worth documenting.
Yeah,
So I'm
you're
going to
gonna
do
do
that. Thank you.
We're gonna do it. This was
Yeah.
episode 136, and we'll, as always, see you on the next one. Thank you.